nanapua o Hawaii Pupa'a mahope o ka aina Iki mai ka elele o ka loko ino
Aloha and welcome back or welcome to this program. We are produced by the Hawaiian National Broadcast Corporation. My name is Poka Lainui and I have three guests with me in this segment of the program. Sunny Del Toro, Rachel Del Toro, and Eli Del Toro. All members of the same family as the last name indicates. We had been talking about other matters in the earlier program or in the earlier segment. In this segment, I want to begin with the following belief that I have, that a way to conquer a people is very simple. Find a way to divide the people. Once you divide the people, you will be on the road of conquest. And in the opposite way, the way to overcome the conquest is to unite the people. Find ways in which a people will be united, and in that way you'll be on the road to overcoming the attempt of conquest or the attempt of occupation or the attempt of colonization. We have been divided, this Hawaiian community, between essentially what some people call the integrationist or the nation within a nation, and some more rudely called the sellouts. On the other hand, or on the other side, are the independent advocates, or sometimes called the unrealistic or the crazies. So this idea of dividing people according to their position has created that disunity among the people. I think the underlying question is, what is a formula by which we can somehow unite the people? And this is what this conversation will be about. Between these choices and between how we converse with our fellow, not only Native Hawaiians, but how we converse with our fellow human beings who share the commonality of this consciousness of our Hawaiian nation. So, with that said, I'm going to start on my left side this time, because in the last program we went to Sunny, but I know Sunny has many opinions on that matter, and I'm sure Eli and Rachel also has some opinions. Eli, your comments, please.
Well, my comments would be, I would like to see the unity between the two groups, and we can have both, or instead of having only one choice or one side to pick, we could have both, and you could be integrated into a unified relationship. Or at least, again, my thing would be one whole group. Because kind of having one choice only on either side is difficult for a whole bunch of people. And so if you give them a choice of two things together, I think it might be better. You know.
Okay, thank you, Eli. Rachel?
I haven't really had much thought on that, but I think both would be fine if we could do that, but realistically, it's not going to be that way. That's all I have for now.
Okay. Well, you interrupt us when either of you have any more. Sunny?
Yes. My ideas in watching Rachel and Eli, it's difficult because you have to delve into it. You have to go and understand, so what do these things mean? Mm-hmm. The independence versus the integration. Mm-hmm. What does that all mean? And then the tie of the communication piece, And so the question you ask, and it's a kind of a daunting question unless you've taken time to go, well, what does that really mean? Mm-hmm. On the other hand, though, if we look at simple things, like Eli at his school, Rachel at her workplace, at my workplace, it is about how people interact with each other. and how you, the person, presents to the next person, and then what kind of reaction you're going to get. So if it's a positive, right, type of expression, then you'll probably get a positive back, so long that person wants to be positive. Again, so now when we talk to real issues, let's talk, I believe that we should have an independent nation. Well, that person on the other side has to also believe or understand what an independent nation is.
Mhm.
If that person doesn't understand, or if he's totally against it, then you have a friction, right? Then you really can't get the communication across. But having said that, that's where we have to understand what our position is and then what the other person's position can be, so that you can work through, some of their issues. If it's a matter of sovereignty, we should have sovereignty. Well, I would love to have sovereignty, except what does that mean for my retirement? Have we addressed that? Is that something we should address? Have we answered that question? Is there some place, like how we have today, facts, you have facts and answers, where you can say sovereignty will not affect any of your retirement, no matter if it's military, if it's from the government, if it's from any other entity, not a problem, yeah? And I think that's some of the other dialogue that we need to start having, so that, it's common areas, like how you mentioned earlier. So what is important to me? Well, my retirement is important to me. My education is important to me. Going to the Hawaiian Immersion School versus going to an English-speaking school, or trying to get into Kamehameha Schools. What's the commonalities and then the differences there, so that when we talk, we don't get the violence that comes out when you say, oh, you went to CAM school. It is not CAM school. It is Kamehameha School. Simple things like that. But that's now what divides, right, the community, where we should be understanding the person from Kamehameha Schools. Okay, CAM school, I got it, The other one is, okay, so I will say Kamehameha School rather than CAM school. As simple as that, And so that's, again, where I think we as a nation need to start coming together and realizing that's as simple as those things is what we need to work with. That way we begin to integrate, we begin to understand what is really the definition or what we need to get to.
So is it what you're saying is not only the question of whether or not we can or we should start thinking of a different conjunction instead of or, thinking of the conjunction and as a possibility, so to change the paradigm. But you're also saying we need to change the culture in which we share with one another, to be willing to listen, to converse, and sort of to restrain our aggressiveness or objection too quickly, and to be more mature and more calm in even our discussion. Is that it?
I believe so, and I think Eli can talk more about it only because he comes from the immersion school. So, they're in their own little world, and they are touted as, you are the Hawaiian speakers. All fine. But now he rubs against his cousins at Kamehameha Schools, and they can't talk Hawaiian. They ask him to do that, and he's, wait a minute, I thought you guys are the stars. So there's that. And I would like Eli to talk a little bit about that, how he feels, when he's put in those kind of situations. Because, again, now we pit our own children unknowingly, oh, you know what, you give, the ole. Why me? So please, Eli, I think that might be a little bit better thing, in working our issue. Yeah.
Okay, Eli, you've been tossed onto the...
Yeah, I have had that in a few instances where I had to either give the prayer or ole for the food on different occasions, or also to open us in different things.
Yeah,
And it was kind of difficult at first because I was thrown onto the spot, but after a time has gone on, I was able to get used to it and actually help out. But as my dad said, it was interesting at first because I thought my first impressions were everybody who goes to Kamehameha Schools would be able to speak, but as I've seen, it's not really so. But
there's a concept called koho'ia. Can you explain what that concept is, and have you ever thought about applying it to yourself as being one who has been selected, whether you like it or not. Sorry, brother, you got selected.
Yeah. That I realized after that. Yeah. And usually I get called to do a lot of things. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Rachel. We skipped over you. Any thoughts on any of these matters?
No.
Okay. When you do have something to interrupt us on, go right ahead. So we come to these two areas that perhaps is needed for addressing. One, somehow switching the deep culture so that we can be more appreciative, more respectful to one another in conversation. And the second is to perhaps change the paradigm that we have worked under, which divides us, and try to be more inclusive paradigm, which also affects our deep culture. Because if it's one or the other, then we become very aggressive, and we try to be the dominated rather than the dominated. Did I say it right? I think I did. So it's a dual, but it's even more than that. There's so many other areas that we need to start clarifying on how we develop this relationship. And as you said at the very beginning, how do we develop a process by which the Hawaiian people's voices can be heard, can be processed in a respectable and in a manner that people can actually hear and, apply their own reasoning to. Okay, I'm watching the time, and yet I don't want to cut any of you off. Sonny, any last points that you would like to make?
No, I don't have any. I know the time is short, but I appreciate you, bringing us onto and helping us understand as well as express what we think. And that's and in the hopes is for the audience out there is you will go, wow, really smart or really not on the money. But then drive that to your particular families and hopefully get back to our families so that we can go, okay, got it, understand, because we all have to go through this somehow. And that's what I think one of the barriers we need to drop or lessen, which is give us a call, and talk to us. And I think as we talk more together with each other, then we'll find the common grounds. A lot of the work will then fall away because a lot of work is done just by specific individuals, specific families, so that we can get to, and here's who we need for leadership. Here's the tenets that we expect as a people. Because again, I firmly believe it's all about what we're going to do. And if we don't do it together and we don't try to get each other together, we're just not going to do it. Yep.
Rachel, any last comments?
Well, first I'd like to thank you that we are able to express our views further. I think there's a lot of work ahead for us as a Native community to be able to be a sovereign nation or a nation in itself. And I'm willing to work at it. I'm willing to contribute to it. I look at it and it's a wonderful thing. We can do it. We just need to move forward together. I'm excited about it. I look forward to whatever else comes after this. But the best thing is that I was able to express myself today, and I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. Eli?
I'd like to thank you, and just mahalo nui and e o Hawaii.
And to all of you, I want to thank you for joining us and giving us audience of your time and engaging in this conversation, although being more on the listening side rather than joining in the conversation. There will be other opportunities, and so with that, I'll close. I am Poka Lainui, and we are produced by the Hawaiian National Broadcast Corporation. Ahui ho.
Kaulana nā pua o Hawaii Kupa'a mahope o ka aina Iki mai ka elele o ka loko i